Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Last week on the Worry-Free Retirement, we talked about the 3 types of mailbox money. Today, we will discuss the only type available to all savers and why this financial tool is still the most misrepresented and misunderstood of them all.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, nationally recognized retirement specialist and 6-time author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
Just in case you missed last week's show, the 3 types of mailbox money, and before we share with you the most popular of the 3, may I remind you of the definition of our trademarked concept I created called mailbox money. Mailbox money is any source of income that provides to the recipient a guaranteed income which the recipient, or in some cases recipients, can never outlive. With this definition in hand, and assuming you are a saver in search of guaranteed income that'll last as long as you do, the good news is that regardless of your age, economic circumstances, or health, option 3, something referred to as a private annuity, is the only type of mailbox money available to anyone who can get off their wallet and invest in it. Which is why today I'm going to explain the 2 types of annuity strategies that produce mailbox money, and thus debunking the many myths, opinions, and misconceptions surrounding annuities so that you can decide for yourself if an annuity is right for you. So, let's get started. Well, welcome folks to the Worry-Free Retirement, and yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, the annuity king himself, retirement planning specialist and full-time fiduciary, Tony Walker. And before we educate you on the 2 different methods that annuities provide this mailbox money, let me introduce 2 young lads in the Worry-Free studios who keep me running to the mailbox every day, America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orander, and Louisville, Kentucky's most laid-back graphics artist, Mr. Derek Hudson. Okay, assuming you, like all of the savers I meet each week, who are more concerned about the return of their money as opposed to the return on it, let's set the stage with my typical day at work. A saver who has watched my TV show or listened to our weekly radio show responds by taking advantage of our free 10-minute fiduciary phone call, and upon learning that we can be of help, does the next best thing and meets in person with yours truly or with one of our highly trained salaried fiduciaries. This typical saver usually has a fairly large lump sum of money that they wish to consider investing in our worry-free retirement process. They fill out our proprietary worry meter, only to disclose, like most savers, one of their greatest fears in retirement, yep, you guessed it, running out of money. Which leads us to the only product one can invest in that will guarantee that won't happen. That's right, the much maligned and often misunderstood annuity. And seeing as though the only other typical options available to the saver cannot guarantee mailbox money, one is left to learn the truth about annuities from someone who has personally sold about as many annuities as anyone in the country. That's right, this little man in the sweater vest. Yet, when you boil it all down, annuities can be very complicated, which is why many advisors do not sell them. However, as we will soon learn, just because something is complicated does not mean you should not consider investing in it. So stay tuned as I simplify the subject of mailbox money and which 2 types of mailbox money annuities provide you that guaranteed income you can never outlive. I'm Tony Walker. You're watching the Worry-Free Retirement. You stay tuned. We'll be right back. Wondering how much money you'll need to retire? Probably a lot less than you think. I'm retirement specialist Tony Walker, and for the past 36 years, I've helped thousands of savers determine when to retire and how much money they'll need in retirement, and I can help you too. To meet in person at no cost or obligation, let me invite you to log on right now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call the toll-free number on your screen. We look forward to talking with you soon. Welcome back to the WorryFree Retirement. I'm Tony Walker, and in case you missed last week's show regarding the 3 types of mailbox money, you can watch it and all of our past episodes on our YouTube channel. Just log on to youtube.com and search Tony Walker Financial. As well, to listen to previous episodes of our radio show, just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. You're going to click on that little menu box and follow the prompts. You'll also see all the listings of all the various TV shows throughout the state and radio shows. And again, you can listen to past episodes of the radio show. Okay, today we focus on the only type of mailbox money available to everyone, and it's called the private annuity, a product we at Tony Walker Financial offer and provide our clients. And unlike our typical array of products served up by us and the rest of the financial world, annuities are the only one that can provide that guaranteed income for life. Oh, speaking of other options available to savers, one of the options offered up by Wall Street to try to provide this lifetime income is actually a mixture of stocks and bonds, something Wall Street affectionately refers to as the 60-40 rule. This theory contends or hopes that when stocks go up in value, that bonds might go down. And when stocks go down, well, bonds will surely go up. All of this in hopes that this theory might keep their clients from running out of money. Yet, as we saw in 2022 and even in previous years, this 60-40 rule is far from guaranteeing any mailbox money that you can count on. In fact, our own in-house fiduciary, my favorite nephew, Wes Walker, will explain.
Well, thanks, Tony. Yeah, conventional wisdom does hold that a 60-40 portfolio of stocks and bonds should perform in most economic environments pretty well. Problem is, in 2022, we had this odd thing happen. Interest rates went up faster than almost any other time in history. And what interest rates do, they put pressure on asset value, so stocks go down. What they also do is they reduce the value of existing bonds. So a double whammy if you're holding this portfolio of stocks and bonds. Really, the only thing that can guarantee an income in retirement are annuities.
Incidentally, if you are wondering why many advisors have for years poo-pooed the use of annuities, check out this article. Shocking, isn't it, that the reason many advisors talk down about annuities is because they don't understand them. Okay, let's figure out how a private annuity can provide 2 different forms of mailbox money, the first referred to as annuitization and the second called a lifetime income rider. So let's define annuitization, which basically is a period whereby the annuitant will receive mailbox money for a set period for a period certain, we'll show you that in a minute, or a lifetime income for himself and or his or her spouse. Annuitization is how pensions provide mailbox money. For instance, notice my granddad's pension at Bell South. It uses the word annuitant. And in his case, both he and his wife Hazel were guaranteed to receive their mailbox money for the rest of their lives. This is called a survivorship election, so that no matter how long either of them lived, one of them would still receive the mailbox money. Oh, incidentally, notice this. Granddad's mailbox money was $665, but if he were to die, in this case, his wife Hazel would have had what's called a 50% survivorship. And in his case, we'll see this in a minute, he elected to get that survivorship. Hazel died first, so Granddad actually got less money as a decision that he made on this election. So there's nothing left for the kids with this, okay? When Hazel and Dad all died, it was gone. So you might say, well, are these still available, these types of annuitization annuities? Well, yes, they are. In fact, I'm going to take a look at this. We've kind of laid this out. Let's say you had a lump sum money. Now, this could be money from a lump sum pension, a 401k rollover, you inherited some money, sold some land. But in this example, we're imagining a couple age 70 gets $500,000 from somewhere, and they're going to annuitize it, all right? What we do at Tony Walker Financial, we represent a lot of different insurance companies that offer these products. We shopped around, tried to find the highest rates. So this is just an example. And here's what you can do. These are the options, okay? This is called a single premium immediate annuity, meaning the money goes to the insurance company and immediately it's going to be paid out. So in this case, you had three options. This person could take a life-only option. You can see they put in $505,000. And notice if they selected that, the monthly payment would be $2,695 a month. All right, so husband and wife, let's say the husband's in really good health, his wife maybe has had some problems, and he's thinking, oh, I'll outlive her. I'll take the single life. Now, the problem with that is, if whoever is the single life recipient passes away, immediately this stops, and there's nothing left. And this could be a real problem. Sometimes I'll see this where, let's say somebody was divorced or single, they retire from a company, they take their pension, they annuitize it. Later on, they get married and they want to provide a monthly benefit, a survivor benefit for their spouse. They can't do it. So with an immediate annuity, once you make that election, you cannot change this. And again, as we'll see, once the party or both parties are deceased, all of the money's gone. All right? Here's another option. So the person says, well, wait a minute, this is crazy. What if I die in 2 years and this thing's gone forever? Can I at least make sure it's paid for a certain period of time? This is called a life with a 10-year period certain. So let's imagine, and notice it drops. See, because the insurance company is going, wait a minute, these actuaries are sitting there talking, they're looking at their investments. We're not going to pay you $26.95 a month if we've got to guarantee this to somebody in 10 years, whether you're alive or dead. So it does drop the payment. So let's say now, same situation, the person's enjoying this money, they're drawing this out, they die in the third year. That means for roughly 8 more years, take 10 minus 2 years, somebody, could be a kid, could be a grandkid, could be the spouse, is going to get that money. So it's a little better than just dying and nothing's left, but it's only for a 10-year certain. Here's the option a lot of people do. If you're going to annuitize a pension, or you say, well, I don't want to take a chance on this. I want my partner to get the same amount that I would get in case I die early. Look at the drop. It drops here about $100 a month, but it drops down from single life. What is that? That's $400 or $500 a month. That's a big haircut. To really what you're doing is you're buying life insurance to protect your spouse. Same problem arises though. What if you annuitize this? You both are riding down the road and you're killed in a common accident. What happens to all this other $500,000 that maybe has only been paid out monthly for a couple of months? What happens to that? Well, the problem there is it's gone. It's finished. So this option of annuitizing an annuity, we do it sometimes, but remember, once you elect that option, there's no going back. You can't change it. And two, if you don't use up all the money, in most cases when you die, nothing is left for anyone else. All right? So let's go to the second option. This is one that I love. It's called the Lifetime Income Benefit Rider. All right? Little different scenario. This is what we call more of the modern day annuities. We sell a lot of these. This really works well. Again, here's the definition. It's a deferred annuity providing mailbox money based on 3 factors: the roll-up rate, which you'll see that in a minute, whether you wish to include your spouse or not as a joint life income, and of course the age at which you want to draw. Now, but don't put this up yet, Derek. So what I'm going to show you is, now we're going to go back in time. We're going to imagine that a couple is age 60, all right? They're going to invest money, and then we're going to fast forward to 70 to see what this is, because this is not an immediate annuity. This is a deferred annuity with an immediate income. You'll see this. All right, let's put this up full screen. By the way, next segment, I'm going to go over this in a little more detail. So let's say this person, again, they're 60 at the time. That roll-up rate, and currently, as of the date of this recording, this is what we have some companies paying, is 7% guaranteed. That means as long as this annuity is in deferred mode, it's going to grow at 7%. Now, there's a catch to that, folks. Many of you have been duped into thinking you can just go drag that money out lump sum. That money, it can only be used for mailbox money. So be very careful with these high interest rates that these annuities credit. In this case, to incentivize you, if you put in $250,000, this company is going to give you a 10% bonus right up front, which will be credited with 7%. We even have some companies paying as high as 40% bonuses. So again, folks, this is not free money. The insurance company has a catch associated with this, but yes, if you're going to use it for mailbox money, the bonus is going to help with more income. That should make sense. Now let's go through this, and let's imagine they put in the $275, that's $250 plus the bonus. Derek, going down 10 years. We're doing 10 years because it's the youngest of the two. There's that 505 figure. Remember, we covered that a minute ago in the annuitization. We're trying to compare these. And notice This would pay, which you could take this out monthly, this would pay $33,216 per year, or you could divide it by 12 monthly. It is going to be paid if either spouse lives to 110. It doesn't matter. It is 100% joint and survivor. And with this type of annuity, assuming you haven't drawn out all of your original principal, let's take Martha and Harry riding down the road. They've been drawing this $33,000 out for a couple of years. They're killed in a common accident. Whatever's left of the original principal will go to your children. So if you're sitting there looking at this going, Tony, I didn't know all these different annuities existed. I've been to a few dinner seminars, people pitching annuities. I was even at the university the other day and some guys talking about annuities. How do these things really work? Well, if you want the truth about annuities, you need to talk to an expert on this subject that also works in retirement planning. That's right, Tony Walker Financial. If you're interested in talking to me, just log on right now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call the number on your screen. And when we come back, I'm about to get out of time here, we got to cover this. We're going to go back to our multiple choice question, and we're going to diagnose how these annuities can guarantee income for life and why no other investment can do this. I'm going to get the whiteboard out. I'm Tony Walker. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
And now it's time for the adventures of Stella, Scout, Ivy, and Poodles.
I poodles walking down the street. I poodles walking down the street.
And who's that behind you? Is that Susu?
I'm Susu. I'm poodles walking down the street. I'm Susu walking down the street.
You've been watching the adventures of Stella, Scout, Ivy, and Poodles.
Did you realize that if you have more than $250,000 in retirement assets, the government could tax as much as 40% of it when you go to take it out? And with current tax rates set to expire in 2025, the taxes you will owe on your 401k could climb even higher. Don't wait until 2025 to see how much Uncle Sam will take of your money. Get a game plan by logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. And as we've discussed today, there's a whole lot of different opinions out there on a whole host of topics involving retirement, like this one about a remarkable retirement destination. That's right, sunny Mesa, Arizona. Now, apparently, according to this survey anyway, Mesa, Arizona ranks as the most financially secure city for retirees in the entire country.
Hey, what do you want? A medal?
Interesting, the article puts Louisville, Kentucky at the top of the list as well. Yet, like so many other opinionated surveys, such as this one, if you scour the annals of opinions on which state is best to retire in, you can quickly read others that are the exact opposite view of Kentucky being a hot spot to retire in. This one ranking us near the bottom.
That's too bad.
So it just proves you cannot always believe other people's opinions on money and, yes, anything regarding retirement. Okay, let's get back to this decision of whether mailbox money is up your alley and sounds appealing for guaranteeing an income you can never outlive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk over to the whiteboard here. And in the essence of time, we're going back to this figure of $505,000. Imagine you have a lump sum. Again, maybe it's a 401k rollover. Maybe you're tired of the broker losing you all the money and you're just ready for something safer. Maybe it's an inheritance you just received, sold some property, sold a business. I don't know, but you got a large lump sum of money and you want some mailbox money. We're going to see if bank CDs or annuities can provide that. We know annuities can, but what happens with a bank CD? Well, we're going to give it the benefit of the doubt. On the annuity we just shared you, annuity is called a payout rate. It's really not a yield. So in this example, the annuity, the way they calculated this annual income, we'll talk about it annually. Remember, that was $33,216 a year for life, and that's guaranteed, and that's a joint life, okay? So what they're saying is if you had $505,000 as of the date of this recording, this insurance company would take that times that, they would pay out $33,000 per year forever. As long as one spouse lived, you could live to 110 and you're going to get it. guaranteed. Now, obviously, the principal is going to go away, but basically, we're doing retirement planning. We're more concerned about mom and pop than we are what's left to the kids. We want to make sure you don't run out of money. Well, what about the CD? Let's even give the CDs the benefit of the doubt. I know CDs are paying a lot of money right now, but you got to remember, folks, these rates of today are not guaranteed. Even if the rate was 6.57, let's just say it goes to that, and you're going, man, this is great. I can take out $33,216, and unlike the annuity, which is gradually draining my principal to the kids, I'm not even touching the principal, which would be true if that rate were guaranteed for life. And it's not. More than likely, it's probably only guaranteed for 1 year. So let's say you get into retirement and you're enjoying this $33,000, and in a couple of years, the rates drop to 5%, all right? Well, now all of a sudden, 5% of that, I'm just ballparking, is around $25,000 a year. But you say, well, I don't want to drop to $25,000 a year. I want to keep taking out $33,000. Well, the 5% is not going to support that. Several years down the road, we drop back down to 3%. All of a sudden, it's only earning $15,000. You're getting a little upset because you sure enjoyed that $33,216. Kind of reminds me of that old saying. It says, a luxury once enjoyed soon becomes a necessity, which is what's happening here. You're not going to cut back on your income. With the annuity, you don't have all this stuff to worry about. It doesn't matter what the stock market's doing or future interest rates. This is guaranteed for life. So folks, if you're sitting there right now and you don't have some money, it doesn't have to be all of your money, but if you don't have some money in a position to provide guaranteed mailbox money, my question is, why in the world not? Especially with the way interest rates are and the things we can do and all the planning expertise we bring to the table at Tony Walker Financial at no additional out-of-pocket cost to our clients. So take advantage of at least talking to me, the owner of the company, Tony Walker, by logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. When you get there, you're going to click on that little red box. We're going to set up something called the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call. And if it warrants, myself or one of our highly trained financial fiduciaries will meet with you in person at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. So do it now. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or simply call the number on your screen. Well, what does the Bible have to say about choosing the right investment for retirement? Actually, nothing, but it says a whole lot about the character of the person you choose to invest your money with. Let me get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Did you realize that if you have more than $250,000 in retirement assets, the government could tax as much as 40% of it when you go to take it out? And with current tax rates set to expire in 2025, the taxes you will owe on your 401k could climb even higher. Don't wait until 2025 to see how much Uncle Sam will take of your money. Get a game plan by logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com. With the uncertainty of the stock market, our nation's debt spiraling out of control, and inflation running rampant, now may be the best time to consider moving your 401k to safer territory. My name is Tony Walker, and for over 38 years I've made it my life's mission to help savers worry less about money, and I want to help you too. To speak with me at no cost or obligation, why don't you log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or simply call the toll-free number on your screen. Earlier in this show, we focused on two separate articles reporting on the same topic and providing two totally opposite summaries on the same subject. That being whether the bluegrass state is a prized choice to retire in or not. And while I have always viewed such random surveys and studies with a grain of salt, it is interesting how people's opinion of where to retire and yes, where to invest one's life savings can be easily swayed by such random opinions. This notion of believing the opinions of everything you see and hear is what led me some 15 years ago to write this barn burner, Don't Follow the Herd, a book that took to task this notion that annuities were somehow bad, even though they are the only tool that can guarantee you won't run out of money in retirement. Fortunately, it is not just a little man in a sweater vest warning savers to stop drinking downstream from the rest of the herd, but the Bible also warns us to be careful of blindly following the opinions of others who may or may not know what they're talking about, and worse yet, not have our best interest at heart. Take, for example, Proverbs 14:15, where it says, "The simple believes everything, but the prudent gives thought to his steps." Proverbs 18:15, "The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out." And finally, one for the ages is found in 1 John 4:1, which simply says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world." And what about those who act like they know it all by constantly sharing their opinions on matters they know nothing about? What would Jesus have to say about them and the character of their dogma? Well, in Matthew 23:27, Jesus not only calls them out on their hypocrisy, but worse yet, refers to them as whitewashed tombs. In other words, they look good on the outside by confidently telling everybody else what to do, but on the inside, they are fools. So, Tony, what do these words of wisdom found in the Bible have to do with the best places to invest my money in retirement? Well, for sure, the Bible does not directly give you an answer to where to invest your money, but it does remind you to take your time and know who you're getting ready to trust with it. My suggestion before you hand over a large sum of money to any advisor is, first, check out their credentials and check out their integrity and reputation in this business. Be sure the person is a fiduciary, required by law to work in your best interest. And finally, if there's anything in your gut telling you to slow down and get a second opinion, well, all I can tell you is the same thing my late great father, Dick Walker, would have said:
Just slow down.
And that, my friend, is some sound advice you and I can take to the bank. Amen? So what about you right now? Are you content with the amount of money you've saved for retirement? And more importantly, are you even more at peace with who is handling your money and the amount of risk you might be taking with it when you more than likely don't have to? Could it be that now is the time in your life to stop worrying about what the stock market might do, whether banks can keep offering these high interest rates on CDs, and whether gold will be worth anything in the future? Or could it be that time to start doing your homework to see if an annuity offering mailbox money is the ticket to a worry-free retirement? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's talking to someone with nearly 40 years in this business, someone who has met in person with over 15,000 savers and has more than 3,000 saver clients, a fiduciary who is more concerned about you and your well-being than making a bunch of money on your money. That's right, yours truly. And to speak to me about your situation, we made this real easy. We call it the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call. And to take advantage of talking to the owner of the company, just log on right now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com, or give us a call at the number on your screen. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. But you remember, between now and next week, if all else fails, you be worry-free and make it a good one.